The Undead Celluloid Society welcomes you into another podcast. My name is Michael,
And I'm Rachel.
and today we are covering the 2016 film Blair Witch. There's no "the" in this one. Blair Witch is a direct sequel to the 1999 Blair Witch Project, ignoring Book of Shadows. It is a film about Heather's previously unknown brother looking for her sister 20 years later in the woods. For some reason, this idiot thinks that her sister is his sister is still alive. And he is going to retread the whole film by bringing his own dumbass friends out into the woods while they film to look for her. And after coming across a couple other locals that they go into the woods with, well, it doesn't end well for anybody.
Spookiness ensues.
Spookiness ensues. Yes. So that's the non-spoiler of the section. But Rachel, we have just went through the Blair Witch Project. The highly, in my opinion, based on all the hate we're seeing, the highly underrated Blair Witch 2 Book of Shadows. And now we are on 2016's Blair Witch. What did you think? What did you think of them going back to the found footage style and going back into the woods?
So, I'm gonna do this two parts. Okay. Overall, honestly, if you've already seen the Blair Witch Project, it's basically a copy paste almost. There's a few things that they changed, but the premise of the movie is basically the exact same.
You've seen a better version of this movie if you've watched the original.
Yeah. So that being said, overall, they could have done they could have done so much with, a what they call it, a
Recool.
Yeah, a requel. And instead they just did the exact same thing. So not impressed by that.
They played it safe. They did play it safe with this one.
They played it so safe. Like, they literally only changed adding the locals. That was one thing they changed.
Yeah, Simon Barrett said they added the locals, which they were probably the better part of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, they added a little bit to it, but that and the fact that when everything started happening, it was like an endless night.
I kind of liked the endless night. That was really creepy, I thought.
But it didn't happen in the first one.
It didn't. So that was a different retread. The other thing with this movie is kind of like, if you didn't like that nothing happened in the first one, well, you don't got to worry about that in this one.
Oh, no.
There's jump scares.
That was my second point, was that as far as the horror aspect of it, this one hit more on the spot for me than the first one did.
Really?
Yeah. Because the first one, like I said during that episode, I wasn't scared at all. Like, I could watch that movie at 3 a.m., turn all the lights off, and walk to my bedroom in the dark and be completely fine. After watching this one, I'm going to make sure that I have one light on before I turn another off, because I'm a scaredy cat. But the jump scares did get me. Like, I don't know if you guys heard me. Every time I was like, damn it got me again.
Yeah, you went, Jesus, Mother of God. I heard you say that once.
But so I love my jump scares, and that got me. So I think that was, I wouldn't say an improvement, because I don't know if that's really what they were going for in the first one. But as someone who does enjoy that, I like that aspect of it.
See, for me, the first one is more scary in the sense that it's more unsettling. You don't know what's going on. You don't see what they see out in the woods. You just it's a lot of innuendo. And it's a lot of more psychological. It's a lot of more like fucking with you of like, we could go out into the woods and camp for a couple nights and have that same experience. And we're not going to have the 26. I hope we don't have the 2016 experience, but it's like they felt. So to me, the whole series is based on the premise of this psychological mind fuckery of is the Blair Witch real? Is the Blair Witch real? Is she not real? What is in their heads versus what isn't? And what are they seeing that we don't see? It's like, getting lost in the woods by itself is a really scary thing because you don't know where you're at. You're scared. You're terrified. You're walking in circles. So I didn't really like the subtleness because this movie kind of just, I mean, and I'm sounds like I'm dogging on this movie. I really like this movie. This movie scared the shit out of me when I first watched it. But the one thing this movie does is it answers all those questions pretty much in your face. They are definitely in a time loop.
Yes.
They are definitely, the Blair Witch definitely can control space and time. It never becomes, after 40 minutes of the movie, never becomes sunlight again. And It's like 7 o'clock in the morning.
And then the locals felt like they were out there for 5-6 days.
Oh, good point.
What's his name? The brother, James, and his friends were like, we just saw you this afternoon.
Oh, yeah, they had just kicked him out. And then later, I mean, when they come back, they look visibly dirty. They look like they had been out in the woods for a long time.
Yeah.
And even Talia comes up and says, do you have any food? And he tries to hand her that bar, and she drops it, and she just instantly grabs for it.
Yeah.
She's desperate for food. So they've been in the woods, their equivalent of 5 days.
Right.
And James and crew have been there just for that afternoon.
Right. And so they definitely play into the whole time loop aspect, which actually wasn't even really in the first movie. It wasn't even really talked about. That was something that people
subtly picked up on.
Yeah. And in this one, they're like, you know what? That's what people picked up on. Bam, we're throwing it in there.
Yeah. The Rustin Parr's house being the biggest thing, because Rustin Parr's house was burned out in the 40s. Then Michael and Heather, not Josh. Josh is gone at this point.
Yes.
Find the house.
Yes.
And then we find out in the Blair Witch 2 that and in the Curse of the Blair Witch, their tapes were found in the foundation of the house, below the house. That's where Kim told Jeff to look for those tapes.
You mean Book of Shadows?
Book of Shadows. That's where Kim told Jeff to look for those tapes in the Blair Witch 2.
Yes.
That wouldn't have been possible if the house would have been there, because how would they have put the tapes in the foundation of the house?
Right, exactly.
So there's a lot of that. Also later when Ashley is Ashley, right?
Yes.
Ashley is the main girl.
Ashley's the friend's girlfriend.
Yeah. When Ashley encounters Lane in the house, Lane looks like he's aged a lot. He's got a lot of facial hair.
Oh no, that was Lisa.
Is that Lisa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ashley and what's his name?
Yes.
Peter were together.
Yes. Sorry. Lisa. When Lisa encounters Lane in the house, Lane has aged a lot. He's got a bunch of facial hair. He when he first sees her too, he says, "You're exactly how I remember you." He hadn't seen her in a very long time.
Right.
So who knows how long Lane has been at this house?
Poor Lane.
Yeah, well, Lane gets killed. I mean, Lane kind of reminds me of Billy Joel from fucking Green Day.
I don't see it. I don't know.
You don't see it? He looks. Oh, that's Peter Dallas that you're thinking of. I'm thinking of Lane. Yeah, me and Dallas also think that Peter looks like Russell Wilson. Peter is a douche, by the way.
Peter is a douche. I don't even know how someone who's seemingly as nice as James is friends with somebody who's so pessimistic and just everything seemed to bother him. And then he was just from the get-go just very hostile with the locals.
Well, I can tell you why. At least in my opinion, James is kind of like a wet paper bag of a character. He's pretty lame. I mean, First of all, his motivation for going into the woods is to look for his sister, who disappeared 20 years before this movie.
No, 17.
17?
Mm-hmm.
Was it 17?
Yep.
He was 4. Okay, sorry. So 17, almost 20 years. Basically 20 years. It's been multiple decades since Heather. Okay, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but 17 years. she's been missing 17 years in these freaking woods, and for some reason he thinks that she's still alive in these woods
because of a video that he found
Lane
on YouTube that Lane posted that was actually footage
of
from Lisa's camera.
You guys listening are probably really fucking confused. Don't worry. It only took me like 10 times watching this movie to figure it out.
I mean, I realized it, but I don't know. I think that was part of the predictability of the movie.
Well, and the other thing is that it's another point that's brought up by Lisa earlier in the film. So early in the movie, they first camp out, and then the first night they stay out there, they hear creepy sounds. They sleep till 2 p.m., and they wake up, and there's stick figures all around. Come to find out that Lane and Talia had faked it. And that comes about by Lisa saying, "Hey, that's a really cool camera that you have." Now there's not many people don't use cameras like that normally. And then she said it's similar to what is online.
Right, yeah.
Lisa ends up taking Lane's camera later on because it's dropped on the ground after she murders him. But yeah, so it's a cool callback because Lisa after Lane tries to kill her. I'm assuming at this point Lane is possessed by the witch.
Oh, he has to be.
Because he says you have to do what she tells you to do, and then tries to kill her. Then she kills him. Then she takes his camera and then is running through the house. That's the footage you see at the beginning of the movie. Little enhanced, though. I mean, the sound is enhanced because it sounds like it sounds super deep and stupid. Also, I don't get why they did the same thing for the footage of Heather when she went into the basement. They enhanced the sound, make it sound more demonic than just her scream. Her scream was perfect.
Yeah,
they could have just replayed that, and it would have been way more unsettling than the distortion that we got from that. It sounds so fake.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely played more into the the paranormal side to it.
100%.
But now that so another theory that I'm going to throw out there at you. Okay?
Throw some theories. Well, before you throw your theories out, did you like the film? Like, how did you?
I mean, yeah, I liked it.
Compared to so rank. We'll do the ranking at the end. But so you did like it? Did you like it? Was there
scary?
It was scary. I thought this.
This was actually scary.
Imagine watching this in theaters because that's what I did.
Yeah, I was sitting here holding Dallas's hand, and he was like, "You know how we used to do that thing where we would test each other's grip strength?"
Oh, like were you squeezing?
Yeah, and he said, "Your grip's definitely gotten a lot stronger," because I was gripping his hand so hard because I was like, Lisa was after Lane put her down in that little
tunnel
thing, and then she's trying to crawl out, and then you hear the noises. I cannot deal with claustrophobic stuff. Oh my gosh, that got me so bad. But
what do you think of the creature?
I don't see how the creature was a witch. It looked like Slender Man.
Interesting that you bring that up. So, I brought it up. So interesting that I'm segueing my own thing. Adam Wingard had come out after the movie came out because people were criticizing that, and he had said that you don't see the witch in the movie.
Then what is it?
That's a theory. What is it? Is it Heather? Is it?
It looks like Slenderman.
It does. Well, think about this. So we are led to believe that Ellie Kedward is the Blair Witch.
Mm-hmm.
What if she's not the Blair Witch? Because they mentioned Ellie Kedward when they exiled her and they tied her to that tree. They tied stones to her and made her limbs super long.
Oh, yeah.
So what if Ellie Kedward is not actually the witch? Most lore says that Ellie Kedward is the witch.
But that would make sense if they stretched out her limbs.
Stretched out her limbs. But Adam Wingard has also said that we do not see the witch on screen. So maybe it's a servant. My guess is that it's Heather, but I also think I don't think that. I don't know. I'm not sure what to think of that specifically, because I think that the girl that James sees running through the rooms is Heather. Remember when he's walking upstairs? Time loop. Yeah, because he hears Heather call to him a lot. Mm-hmm. But that could also just be the Blair Witch manipulating voices, because she manipulates James' voice at the end to get her.
Yeah, to get Lisa. Yeah, that's true. But so listen, I gotta get this theory out.
Okay, so get this theory out. Let's hear this theory.
So
you can't see her, yes.
So because of the time loop and the fact that Lane looks like he has aged, right? Mm-hmm. What if?
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
What if Lane is actually the one who takes out Michael and Heather?
That's an interesting theory, because no one has ever. I don't think I've ever seen anyone pose that. Because I knew as soon as he said that, that's what you were going to say, though.
Yeah, he looked just so much older, and it honestly looked like he was kind of graying, but that could have been the lighting. But
no, I think that was
because
purposeful.
she controls, the space-time continuum in her area. What if, and he's like, you have to do what she tells you to do. What if he was the one who got Heather and Michael at the end, knocked them out?
That's
because you don't see.
That is strongly possible. That's a really good theory. And also with the Blair Witch manipulating voices, that she could have manipulated Josh's voice to lead them to the house.
Exactly. So
because she definitely does that with James.
Theory.
She definitely does that with James.
Yeah. Yeah, she well, you don't hear Heather's voice.
No, but you hear James talking.
Yeah,
because it's all from Lisa's perspective.
Yeah.
James hears Heather's voice, turns around, gets got by the witch, or not the witch, because whatever that long lens thing is in the room when she's showing her camera.
Yeah,
I thought that was a great shot, by the way. Not the Slender Witch, but having Lisa hold the camera like that, and just all the blood on her face and how scared she looks and stuff. That is great. That's a great shot.
Yeah, that got my heart racing.
Yeah, me too.
I was like, please don't show up in the freaking camera.
It's like a super intense haunted house.
Yes. Oh my
gosh. especially when James is running upstairs and you see the girl run into the rooms and stuff.
Oh my gosh, that part freaked me out because it's just there's too many doors in that house. And
yeah, there was not that many doors in the original house.
No.
People were saying this is a great recreation of the original house. It isn't. I don't think it is at all. This house looks nothing like the other one.
No, it was there was a million rooms.
There was also a million staircases. There was one staircase upstairs.
Mm-hmm. Well, it went up 2 flights.
In the original film, it you went up and then went up again.
Yeah.
But there's 2 floors. In this one, there's 3 or 4.
Yeah, it went up way too many stairs.
And it didn't happen until the last flight of stairs that it kind of even resembled what you were seeing with the handprints and stuff. And there was way too many rooms, especially on the bottom floor. The bottom floor was hollowed out when they walked into it.
Yeah,
it was clearly abandoned. So they took a lot of liberties with that. Rachel at one point mentioned, and it's funny that you said this because this is also a theory online, when James and Lisa, I keep wanting to say Heather, when James and Lisa go into the attic, which I don't know if that's supposed to be a parallel to Heather and Mike being in the basement or not, but when James and Lisa go into the attic, it gets super ass bright in there, lights outside, and Rachel went, "Oh, UFOs." People actually think there's a theory about the Blair Witch actually being alien abductions online. That's an actual thing.
Oh.
So
you know what? It doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't.
that part, the lights didn't make sense to anything unless it was UFOs.
It was just trying to be spooky. I think. I don't know what they're. It's like, and I really like Adam Wingard. I like Simon Barrett. They do really good work in other stuff. Your Next is fantastic. It's a fantastic movie. We'll watch it at some point. And they did some decent segments in VHS, but it's like they took every spooky thing you could think of in the woods and just threw it at a fucking wall.
Yeah.
At the end, it was. There is no subtlety in this movie at all. It is the most jarring thing at the end.
In your face.
Yeah, I mean, it was like they watched the first one and said, "Man, I really wish something happened in this." So they made everything happen that they could possibly think of.
Yeah, it's
Slender Witch, UFO lights, everything.
The friggin' almost like the Grudge Girl.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Where Lisa's outside and the witch wants her to go inside, so this girl pops out behind a tree or something.
I thought that was the Slender Witch, was it not?
No, it just looked like a regular girl with long black stringy hair.
Probably.
But,
they might have been the Grudge Girl. I don't know.
But yeah, no, it's like they just put all of, the stereotypical scares in a jar and was like, stick your hand in, pull something out. Okay, we're going to sprinkle a little bit of this here, do it again, sprinkle a little bit of this here.
A little spookiness throughout.
Yeah. And so that whole UFO light thing just really threw me off.
I think the best scare, and they could have just left it at this one and they didn't have to go over the top of the rest, was when Talia is back with the camp. They reunite, and Talia, they get 6 figures back outside of their tents, and she sees one and it has her hair in it, and she pulls it down and is like crying about it having her hair in it. And then Ashley goes, "Of course it's your hair. You did this," and then like rips it in half, and it like breaks her fucking back.
Oh yeah. She ends up on the ground, with her feet up by her head.
Yeah, like in a similar sense of like how Ashley broke the. Yeah, so I liked that. I did like that one. That one was like, oh shit, that's like kind of like a game changer. That's when everything after that started to go a little overboard for me.
Mm-hmm. It's like they tried to take the Blair Witch Project and just add every blatant thing they could think of.
Yeah, the kitchen sink approach.
Yeah, exactly, the kitchen sink approach. But
what was the biggest scare for you? Do you think? Do you think it was? Do you think it was Lisa going into the tunnel?
I mean, that gave me the most anxiety. But
speaking of which, what the fuck is these tunnels? What's that? What's the tunnel thing about? I don't remember them mentioning anything about tunnels underneath the house.
I don't think I remember either. But we were talking about tunnels. Oh, that was something else. But yeah, no, I don't remember them talking about tunnels.
Because all it did was she crawled through the tunnel and it just came back in the house.
Yeah, she came back into the basement.
Yeah, the same place that she was.
Yeah, where she killed Lane. Who, I don't know.
Maybe she came through when Lane was killing Mike and Heather. We didn't see any bodies though, so.
Yeah, I know. I'm sticking to that theory that
I'll say that basement scene was faithfully recreated. The rest of the house was not, because whenever she panned through that, it's like that looks exactly like that basement.
Yeah, I don't really remember, but
I do. But the rest of the house, not so much.
No, it honestly, and I feel like I've had a freaking nightmare about that house before.
Probably. Kind of reminded me of like freaking. Have you ever played Kingdom Hearts?
No.
It reminded me of Castle Oblivion from Kingdom Hearts, because like how it always changes and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Sorry sorry Rachel that you don't get that reference, but my Kingdom Hearts fans out there will.
I'm not really a big gamer, but overall, I did like it. There wasn't a lot that I didn't like about it. So it wasn't definitely like the reviews said online. It was a definite improvement from Blair Witch 2.
Did you really think so? I preferred Blair Witch 2 over this one.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, as if it was like a standalone movie, Blair Witch 2 was really good, but they made it out of the woods.
Did they really though? Because Jeff's house is still in the forest.
Okay, they made it out of her domain, at least.
Yeah, I see. See, the thing for me is that the second one tried to do something completely different, whereas the requel, I like the requel, and it is scary, I think, but the requel just tried to do the same thing.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not,
and that is something that I said I liked about the Blair Witch 2 was that they didn't do the exact same thing.
Yeah, they definitely played it safe.
Yeah.
I'm curious as to where the series goes from here.
Do you think they're going to continue?
Yeah, they've already confirmed that Blumhouse is making another one.
What? Oh, Blumhouse is making one?
Blumhouse is making that one. Rachel loves Blumhouse,
Oh,
guys.
yes, it's going to be good.
Maybe, we'll see.
Shout out to Blumhouse. I freaking love your movies. So does Michael and my sister, Trisha. But
yeah, we do.
But I honestly don't know what they could do with it.
See, I don't know if they're going to do a sequel, a prequel, a requel, or a remake, or what. So, do you know what a difference between a requel and a remake is?
Is a requel a sequel that is basically a remake of the original?
Yeah, think of like Force Awakens or Scream 5
Haven't seen
or
them.
Halloween 2018. Those are all considered requels. They're sequels to the original work that they're based on, ignoring everything else mostly, but they're kind of the same movie.
Same thing happens.
Same thing.
Okay.
Sort of.
That's what I figured it was, but
so that's why they call Blair Witch a requel. It is a direct sequel to the original. Sort of the same thing happens.
same premise.
Same premise. They up the shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I just don't know what they could do.
So, I mean,
please don't play on the UFO theory.
please do not.
For the love of God, don't play on the UFO theory.
I'd be okay with them going into more subtle territory and like kind of freaking us out that way. Like have some scares in there, but don't throw it in my face.
Honestly, if they did like a bigger play on the time loop and just went nuts with that.
Well, I don't know what else they would do with that now. Because I mean, we've gotten Rustin Parr's house. We've gotten the same lore for the first three, which is cool. But at this point, we need to go in a different direction.
Maybe a prequel.
Do something
like the original, like it back in the 1800s.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to do a found footage with that, but you could do something, or do something with Coffin Rock. Make it more prevalent than the studio just throwing it in at the last second. You know?
Yeah.
We've been to Rustin Parr's house in 3 movies. We're done with Rustin Parr's house. We know what he did. We know what happened. We get it. We need something a little different.
Yeah, switch.
Show us something else in the woods.
Switch targets.
I liked all the lore for it, but I am done with Rustin Parr. There's so many other interesting stories that happen, like Coffin Rock, Eileen Treacle, and there's a couple others that happen that, I mean, do something with those. Like we get the house thing. It's like
an origin story.
Yeah, like or
stories.
They can maybe even go the route that the movie series Creep is going, where they're doing like short creep. It's called like the Creep Files or something, and it's like shorts like of different things that this person is doing throughout. So maybe they could be shorts about each thing.
But do those get as much attention?
I don't know. They're on Shudder. I haven't watched them. Shudder is a big platform for horror, which I love. I have not watched them, but the first 2 Creep movies are pretty good. I've heard that these are just kind of like shorts, kind of like little TV segments.
Oh. Okay.
So, I mean, they could do that with like Coffin Rock. They could do that with Eileen Treacle. They could do that with, the kids going missing after Ellie Kedward gets killed. A lot of stuff they could do. I mean, I guess it's a silly question to ask, but obviously the witch is real.
Obviously.
And this movie does not make any hints at that.
No, not one bit.
There's nothing.
You see everything.
Yeah, there's nothing not supernatural going on in this movie.
Right.
So if you had doubts in this one, because the first one and Book of Shadows do a really good job of making it seem like.
Because I thought it was locals.
Yeah, it was locals in the first. You could think it was locals, and then the second one they could just be. They were messed up on alcohol and drugs.
Delirious.
They were delirious because they didn't sleep for like 3 days. I mean, this one does not. This one doesn't play into any kind of thing at all. So if you want to make this, I'm curious if Blumhouse will make this movie canon in their movie, or if they will ignore this one.
That's a good thought. You just never know where Blumhouse is going to take it, though.
I don't know. I mean, they're either going to ignore this one, or they're going to like dive so far into it that it's absurd. We might see aliens. We might see aliens in the fourth Blair Witch movie. But you know what? You're going to have Rachel and Michael there at the front seat of the cinema watching this film.
Oh, heck no. We're going to be sitting in the back.
Okay.
I cannot sit
I can't sit in the front either. I did that for one movie, and I was like this the whole time. It was terrible. My neck hurt so bad.
Craned up, yeah.
Yeah, and the speakers are right there, too. It's horrible.
But regardless, we will be there.
We will be there to watch it, and we will cover it. Blumhouse.
Oh, that would be a great episode, like seeing it first time in theaters.
You want us to film while we're in theaters, too? We just have our cameras, like, us right here, or our mics just right here.
To record my reactions. Because, yeah, I'm more...
Rachel is going to get the shit scared out of this whole time. We might both get scared, I'm not going to lie. I was scared when I first watched this movie.
Yeah, but how old were you?
20?
Oh, I thought you said
19.
Oh no, that was the second one.
This came out in 2016.
I know. I'm getting my movies mixed up, but I don't know. I feel like I definitely wear my reactions on my face. Like I can't hide it.
If TikTok ever gets released back to the United States for us to,
what are you talking about, Michael? It's still we got TikTok.
I don't got TikTok.
Yeah, I can go on TikTok right now. It was literally banned for like 12 hours.
Well, I can't download it because I never had it. Anyways.
I don't think it's banned anymore. Anyways, we digress.
TikTok aside, we will eventually make a TikTok with shorts of Rachel's reactions to films.
Oh, that's going to be a catastrophe.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be tragic.
It's tragic for you, but great for our fans.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, we're going to have a great time with it.
Entertainment at my expense.
Okay, so, I mean, that's kind of really all I got for this movie. We talked about the theories. We talked about kind of, there's not really theories you can have about this movie. It kind of just throws it all out at you.
Well, I mean, I did come up with a theory.
You did come up with a pretty good theory. That was the only theory I could think of. That's a
solid theory.
Pretty solid theory.
I'm so proud of myself.
We're going to put that on Reddit later.
I'm proud of myself.
I'm proud of you for that one, too.
You should be.
People are going to call me, like, you said such a stupid theory. No, I'm just kidding. That's a great theory. I think it's a great. I've never heard that. That is a good theory. So, all right. So we will go into our rating now.
And Michael's going to start.
Michael is going to start. You didn't let me get through my sentence.
I know, because I was afraid you were going to tell me to start.
No. I would never do such a thing.
Oh, you only did it last time.
So we'll go into our rating about vacations. Rachel, honestly, this is going to be the same vacation as the first. It's just a retread through the woods. We're not getting much else, except the first time we went into the woods and camped, it was nice. The weather was calm, it was chill, good time. This time, it's fucking storming like a MFer. Lightning striking all around us, rain pissing down. This is the nightmare version of our first trip to the woods camping, and it's not fun, but it's an experience.
Okay. Can I ditto that?
I mean, you can't fun.
Okay, so my vacation, I mean, I feel like mine would be pretty much on par with what you just said, but I don't remember what my vacation was for the first one.
Scream in the comments what it is so that you can yell at her guys.
Listen, I will never not tell people this. I have a terrible memory. I sometimes think that I have short-term memory loss.
You probably do.
I honestly think I do.
Well, so what are you thinking? Are you thinking a trip to the woods? You thinking you going to the beach? You going to Six Flags?
I feel like you use the beach all the time, though.
What about a music park?
I mean, I guess like so when did you say cabin? Yeah, cabin in the woods, but they're in the woods. I guess I could use that, like a weekend at a cabin in the woods. I've gone camping my whole life. Granted, it wasn't always tent camping.
Cheating camping.
You're right, sleeping in a literal like camp house. But so I've done it before, but I've never done it with just like say if it's like just me and Dallas. So there's an aspect of it just being the two of us, and there's how they say there's safety in numbers. Well, there's only two of us in the middle of nowhere, so
you're effed.
If something happens, we're screwed. And you don't know what's gonna happen, but yeah, you have a good time. I mean, you think it's gonna be like a chill weekend, and I don't know, maybe you see a bear. Maybe you see a pack of wolves.
Where are you camping at? So you've seen all this at?
I don't know. Where's there bears at? But
bears here?
There's black bears. Yeah, maybe you see like a couple black bears in the woods, even though they're more likely to run from you, but still, it's scary when you're out in the woods by you and you're
spooky.
Yeah, spooky. And so I guess that would be my vacation. But you make it out of there. You leave the woods. You don't get stuck in a time loop and die.
Well, I hope so. Yeah, I mean, otherwise we wouldn't be able to continue this podcast. All right. Is this a Trisha movie or not?
Dallas movie. It's a Dallas movie.
It's a Dallas movie. We know that.
Oh man,
Dallas is liking these Blair Witch sequels.
Yeah, he is. Trisha. I'm gonna say what I said last time was that Trisha's she's a wild card. You think she might love a movie that you love, and she's like, nah, it wasn't for me. So I'm gonna say yes on the premise that she didn't watch the first one. What about you?
I think it's 100% a Trisha movie. It's got all the stuff that she likes in it. Goofs, gaffs, scares, craziness that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
The only thing that would make it even better for her is if it was a lot worse.
If it was a lot worse,
yeah, if it was more terrible,
more cringy.
Yeah, if it was to the point where I'm watching it going, ugh.
If they actually played on the UFO aspect.
If this would have been a UFO movie, we would have had to have her on the podcast for the episode because it would have been perfect. She would
have raved about it.
Okay, so as a horror fan, more importantly though, as a Blair Witch fan first, are you recommending this to people that have watched the Blair Witch Project?
Oh, see, that depends. If they're like well, okay, I guess you're a diehard Blair Witch fan and you liked it. So, because I was going to say
I am in the minority when it comes to that, though. When it comes to Blair Witch fans that like the Blair Witch 2016.
Oh, yeah. See, I was gonna say if someone who's like a diehard Blair Witch Project fan, then I don't know if they would like how in your face this movie is. But I mean, as a horror movie, yeah, scared the shit out of me. So I would recommend it to horror fans.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I agree. I definitely think that it is something that you should watch. Even as a Blair Witch fan, I think that if you're a big fan of the first movie, especially if you and then if you're wanting to consume more information about the series, then give it a watch and make your own opinion about it. Because people, there's a lot of people that hate it. There's a lot of people that like it. Some people prefer it to the original. I am not one of those people. I prefer the original. I think the original is perfect for what it's trying to do. It's not a perfect movie by any means, but it's perfect in the sense of what it's doing with its lore. Um, I don't think that Blair. I think that Blair Witch 2016 is scarier.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a traditional horror sense, but I can also see why people don't like it as much. So I think that, especially if you're a Blair Witch fan, you definitely need to watch it just to make your own opinion for it. That way you can say you've watched it. Because, I mean, who are we to say what's a good movie versus what's not a good movie? We're just giving you our opinions here.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, why not? This movie is definitely not the worst movie we've ever watched.
No, not at all.
Yeah, it has a great production value to it. The acting is pretty good. Albeit a little cheesy in some points. I could do without Peter. But yeah, just give it a watch and make your own opinion. But I will endorse the movie. I'll say that it's a worthy sequel to the Blair Witch Project.
And I just want to add that, like, my favorite thing about this whole series, in like the whole thing, is that there is so much that you can look into and dissect from these movies.
Yeah, there's so much lore.
There's not a lot of movie trilogies that you can pick a movie apart and come up with like so many theories about, different aspects of the movies, and even like tying in, like how I tied in Lane to
Josh or Heather and Mike.
Yeah, like there's just so much that you can do with it, and it really makes you think, and it makes you challenge your own view of all of the of the first one and the 2016 one together.
Yeah, it's I'll agree with you, and to build on that just a little bit, it is one of those movies where there's so much extra stuff that's outside of the films that gets referenced a little bit in the films, that once you start digging into and getting into like the lore and understanding all of the different stuff, like this has its own mythology to it.
Yeah.
There's so much history. Like there's hour-long mythology videos about the Blair Witch, and they touch on it a little bit in the first movie. They touch on it a little bit in Book of Shadows. They touch on it a little bit in 2016. We get a lot of the same stuff in those movies, but there's a lot of stuff that just gets barely referenced that has like its own like 3-paragraph thing on some wiki site.
Yeah.
So there's so much to this mythology. It's a lot more deep than just the 3 movies. Like there's so much that goes into it, and I think that a lot of that, how we talked about how it initially goes back to the marketing of how they, marketed the first movie. I think that this series is worth a watch. I mean, especially if you're a horror fan, definitely watch it, and that we are going to definitely be watching the 4th one when it comes out.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so yeah, those are our thoughts on the Blair Witch 2016. Thank you guys so much for staying with us on this journey. That concludes our Found Footage February series. We've had a blast with these found footage movies. They're kind of wild. Just wait till next year, Rachel, when you watch ones that make less sense.
Yay.
But yeah, we had a really good time with this series. next series that we're going to dive into is going to be the Leprechaun series.
Oh my gosh, I am honestly not excited about this.
For all of March. We're just going to watch the first 4. We're not going to watch all of them. We're going to save the last ones
I am
for
not
the
excited.
following year. I am so excited to watch Leprechaun. Rachel is going to love it.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Yeah, I'm going to have a blast. But yeah, so that's for you guys to look forward to. Thank you guys so much for listening. We really appreciate the listens. We really appreciate the likes. Please, subscribe, comment, tell us your thoughts. Tell us if you thought we were stupid with our takes. Tell us if you thought we'd prefer to stay positive, but tell us if you didn't like our take. Tell us if you liked it. Tell us your own thoughts. Tell us your own theories about the Blair Witch.
I would love to read some theories.
We're happy to read those. So please give us a comment. Please like. Please subscribe. Share with your friends if you have any friends like the Blair Witch, or if they like any kind of just like lower grade movies that a lot of people just don't talk about as much as we think they should. But yeah, until then, we thank you guys one last time. My name is Michael.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is the Undead Celluloid Society podcast.